Hi guys, in this video I'll be explaining a concept called geofencing and how you can use that inside a React Native application. Okay, so I will also explain how you can implement geofencing in the backend as well at the end of the video. But this video will be completely focused on how you can do it in React Native with the help of React Native maps. Okay, so geofencing is a concept used by delivery applications like Zomato, Uber, etc. And then and by enterprise solutions who want to track their delivery drivers or their truck drivers who want to go from one point to the another point. Okay, so let's take an example, right? So for example, you have a warehouse solution or a warehouse, right, where you have your own goods, etc. And then from a starting point, let's take from Mumbai to Delhi. The truck driver has started from a warehouse in Delhi, and then he moves to Mumbai, right? Or for example, if I go to the maps, right? So I will explain each and every step here. So let's zoom in further to explain the geofencing concept, right? Now I'll zoom in further. So this is the Apple's HQ, right? Apple HQ in California. Now what happens here is, so let's take an example. So I am in, so I want to order something from Apple, so hypothetical situation where I want to order something from Apple's HQ to be delivered to my location in Google headquarters in California, right? So I want to integrate a feature where I want to see if the particular driver has started his journey and then he has left his location in Apple Park or in Apple's HQ and has entered my location in Google's, like I entered near Google's place, right? Google's HQ. Okay, so how I can do it? I can do it with a concept called geofencing. Okay, so coming back to the real world concept in from moving from Delhi to Mumbai. So what happens is, let's say I've ordered or I am moving goods from my Delhi warehouse to Mumbai warehouse. Now it's a high value premium goods. Okay, you can change it to food or any other. Actually, you can do it with any other goods around the world. Now I want to track. Okay, so my driver starts, or my truck driver has started from his location in Delhi warehouse, and he has now moved out of that location. So from here, he has moved out of the location. So now what I can do is I can check. Okay, with this either the his mobile device or the truck's GPS, I can check. Okay, so he is here, and then he has moved out. Now what I can do is I can literally check. Okay, he has moved out, and then I'm going to send a notification to myself and then update it in my database. Okay, this is what geofencing is actually. So and then let's say he has moved near to my Mumbai warehouse, and then he's going to enter it. Like once he enters it, I will trigger a notification like he has entered Mumbai warehouse, and then he is inside Mumbai warehouse. And then the next step is, like, if he moves out of the Polygon, which is this one, or the Mumbai warehouse's coordinates, I will say that okay, he has exited it. This is nothing but a concept called geofencing. Okay, this is platform agnostic, which is nothing but this works for either web or React Native or Java, Kotlin, Swift, or any other one, but the concept remains the same throughout. Okay, so we can do this either in the front end or in the back end, but to visualize it, we have to do it in a React Native app or in a React.js dashboard or Next.js dashboard, etc. But in the back end, we can use any number of technologies. Okay, so my pick would be with Supabase Postgres, where we can use geospatial indexes like PostGIS or like ST contains, etc., to do this properly at scale. Okay, I will share all these things which I have described, like which I'm going to discuss here one by one. Okay, so that's it for the geofencing concept. So to recap all of this, so we will have a polygon or a circle or whatever the shape is there. If a user is near the location or enters a location or exits a location, right, we are going to capture it and then we are going to send out some events. So that particular shape is called geofencing, and whatever the functionalities that we do, like warehouse, truck driver tracking, etc., is the end goal here. Okay, so let's get started. Now what I'm going to do is, so I have added a lot of polygons or the shapes here. I'm going to discuss it one by one. So I'm going to go back to VS Code, and then what I'm going to do is, this video I'll be focusing on React Native maps, and the next video I'll be focusing on Mapbox. Okay, so let's get started. And the next one is, so how did I get inspiration, right? So I got inspiration from this particular, I'm going to go here. So in India, we this particular design. So in India, we have an app called Zomato, Swiggy, and all these Q-commerce, sorry, food delivery and Q-commerce and e-commerce apps. What they do is they do real-time food tracking. Okay. Now this is some, I think, old design from App Shots. They have an old design, but right now what they do in both in Swiggy and Zomato, right? This may also happen in Uber or DoorDash, etc. But as I have not used those apps, I'm going to stick with this. Okay. So now I have ordered something from this particular restaurant. Right. Now I am tracking this particular user's location live in the app. Okay. Now the next part. So all these things are discussed in my playlist. You can view that, but no, that's later. Now, so the particular delivery agent has neared my particular house. Okay. So what happens in the app is Zomato will immediately check that particular user's location, and then if it is within 500 meters or 200 meters, or like mainly I think 100 to 300 meters from my location, right, it would check, okay, if this user is in this particular geofence, what would happen is it will immediately trigger an event like this. Okay, he's near this particular user's location. So what you do, you change this design or this particular UI to a route like this, to a geofencing logic like this, okay, where they add a circle like this around the user. This is what they do. Okay, this is what they do, and then this is how geofencing is used in real time for a public company like Zomato and Swiggy. Okay, like which is in India. DoorDash, I think DoorDash is also public, but I don't know. Public is nothing but a company which is listed in the stock market, and then they have to answer to their customers, which is the shareholders, etc. Okay, so this is how they do. This is the concept that they use, right? Now, what we are going to do is we are going to first, like the entire video is going to focus on how you can do this in React Native and in React Native maps, and then bonus, which like I'm not a backend full stack or backend developer. I am like inching towards that, but I will also explain how I will do it as I have learned for the past 3 or 6 to 7 months. Okay, but in the front end you will learn everything. Okay, so that is the inspiration. Next one is, okay, how you can do the geofencing, right? So all these things are done. So I will explain from here. Okay, so in my previous videos, actually I have uploaded almost 14 videos. I have discussed extensively on how you can implement background geolocation tracking in both React Native maps and Mapbox, etc. And then how you can track locations, like or mock locations. So I'm also going to use that tool here, and then all these things, right? So you have to see all these guides or video guides one by one to to understand this particular video, because the thing is like it will be just reusing the content again and again from there. So I'm just going to skip over that part, where I'll be using three libraries called React Native Geolocation, Community Geolocation, React Native Maps, and Turf. Okay, Turf is a library which I will discuss later, right? So please view these two guides. Mainly this one. This is a very good guide that I made, where I would discuss everything which is required to do this. Right now, once you have seen that guide, what you would have understood that like you can literally get the location and paint the location or the location movement of the driver, and then paint that over the map. Okay, you can do that. Right now, the next step. So from that point, okay, I'm just going to go to Excalibur. Right. So in the previous video, like in these two videos, or if you have seen all these videos, I mean this one. So what happens? So recap, right? So I'll do a recap. So recap is, now you get the moving location of the user, and then add it on to the map as a route, which is a polygon. Okay, it's a polygon. Right now, the next step. So next step for geofencing is, so we will add a circle. And then we will check if the user is within this circle. Okay, if the user is in the circle, we will say he is in the circle, right? Okay, we will have 3 events as he says in this guide. I will provide all the links. So as he says in the guide, what we will do is we will use entry, or we will do the entry and then inside. So for example, if the driver, right? So for example, the driver moves. So for example, if I go here, right, he is at the edge of the circle, but is inside the circle. And then he has moved near to the house, right? So house means he's still in the circle. Now what I'm going to do is inside the circle, so there should be no event emitted. And then the third one is exit. Right. So this is the geofencing itself. This is a concept entirely, right? Now, how you can do that in React Native? So you can do that in React Native with help of Turf library. But the thing is, to do it, what I would say is, like in a broad sense, right? In a like total backend sense, you have to use backend concept. I will discuss that later in Excalibur. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, as you can see, the events. So outside, inside, and then exit. Right. Or you can just have it as outside and inside as well. Like it's up to you. It's up to your logic. The logic is these two. So we are going to detect the change, as he says. We track the state of the particular delivery agent, and then we are going to detect the changes, and then we are going to trigger the events. Like for example, right now we are just going to use alert message, etc. Okay. Now what you can do? So I'm going to go here. So this is the code for React Native maps. Okay. Entire code. I'm going to discuss it one by one. Now this is the so this whatever we are going to do now is a free solution, completely free solution, except if you are going to use Google Maps and then Mapbox, right? Like for now, Google Maps that costs money, but other than that, not like everything is free and open source, right? So I'm going to tap on this link. Okay, so actually I already have that link. Here is the link. Okay, so this particular library is a paid one, just for the Android SDK, but for iOS I think it's free. So as you can see, the most sophisticated battery conscious background location tracking and geofencing SDK. Okay, in this one, if I play this video, hope I don't get copyright strike. So if I go here, right, so what he's saying, I'll see, right, so I'm going to move forward. You can see the same one. This is a geolocation tracking video where, as the user moves, so as you can see, if I go move forward, okay, you can see, right, as the user moves forward, the events get fired. You can see notify on entry, exit, and dwell, etc. Right. So you can do this. You can see the location moves, and then once it enters the particular geofence or the circle, it will immediately trigger an event. Okay. So it's an excellent library which I integrated before, but it was paid. Okay, so I didn't go further in that. Right. So for example, if you want to use this inside your production app, you have to pay money. So for example, if I go to free version, actually not here, sorry, I will go back, and then you can see, right, buy now. So in this one, right, for a single app it should be one, you have to pay $400 to get this. So for like if you are a big enterprise, right, $400 is nothing for you. But if you are a very big like very small or like a indie app developer, right, you can use my guide to make your own geofencing logic. Okay. But if you are a big enterprise who can afford this, you can literally go with this guide because it's battle tested, as he says, and then they use some different technologies inside that. Okay, but we are going to take some concepts which from here to make this particular video. Okay, now as you can see, as the location moves, right, you can see we have geofencing and non-geofence, all these things. The main the main important part here is you can also add as a polygon. Okay, polygon is nothing but different shapes. Like if there are three edges, right, it's triangle, 4 means square, and if it goes, right, it keeps on increase hexagon and then octagon, etc. Okay, so we can also add geofences in that style. The next one is whatever the values or the geolocation values will be stored in the local SQLite, and then that values can be streamed to the database. So that's what this particular library does. We are going to take something from there, and then the next one is they also have a feature called like where you can send notifications, etc. But that is for a later point. I won't discuss that in this video, but I'll discuss how you can do it. So I'm going to go here. So that has been discussed. Now, what are the libraries I'm going to use is these three. So I'm going to use these three. So you have to install it and see my previous video on how to install it properly. I also explained how to do the like what is transistor stuff and why it is a paid solution. Okay, because they did a lot of testing and then they deserve to get paid. But if you want a free open source solution, like my video will be very helpful. Next one is the paid APIs, right? So that is very important. So I'm going to go here, and then so right now what we are going to do is we are going to do it in the front end. Okay, so in the front end means the app has to run all the time, and then the location has to be streamed to the backend or the database all the time, even in the foreground, background, or even in quit. Okay. Now, what you can do is you can use the turf library. So, for example, in this turf, right? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here and use turf dot. There are so many things, right? Along and then angle, all these things are here. Okay, so you can see boolean within, like the logic is if the particular user's coordinate is within a polygon or a circle, etc. That is the entire logic here. Okay, you can literally use this turf library. So I'm going to go to the library. So I'm going to search turf.js, and then I got the results. I'm going to go here and then in the okay, I'm going to search within, right? Points within polygon. I'm going to search this. I don't like this. So can see turf.points. You can literally use the front end solution here and then get the okay, if this particular coordinate or if the particular driver is within this particular coordinates or not. Okay, we can do that, right? And then I think points within, right? So points within, yeah, here, right? Or else if you don't want, like if you don't have any UI or like any front end to do this, you can use APIs which are presented here, or geocoding APIs. Okay, but the thing is, it's extremely costly. So there are multiple solutions like Google Maps and then Mapbox. Here there are it is one more solution and all these things, right? So what you have to do is, so I'm going to go to Xcali draw again now. So this is a circle, right? So this is a big circle, and then your user is here, and then here as well as here. Okay, so let's take, you now have 3 locations. So the 3 locations have been streamed to your backend. Now what you can, to your backend or your database, now what you can do is you can either use any of these APIs to check, okay, if this particular user is within this particular coordinate or not, sorry, this particular circle or not. Okay, and then you can do your calculations. Okay, that is now way number 1, but that is too costly, as you can see here, right? So if I go here, right, and then Mapbox geolocation, date limits, so temporary, okay, not here. So additional 5 for every 1,000 requests, it would be $5. Okay, that's too much, right? Well, let's say like if you grow bigger and bigger, the cost would be very high. So this option is like, there's an option like this, but don't use this, right? If you can afford it, please do it. But my suggestion would be not to use it. The second solution would be to use a open source library called turf.js to literally find if the coordinate is within this particular polygon or not. Okay, that is number 1. And then circle, right? Okay, so circle. So if I go here, you can see this is a circle, and then I can find if the point is within that circle or not. Okay, we can also do that. So the main thing is the polygon. Okay, so if I go here, you can also search this up, and then what you can do, let's take the user is currently, okay, I'm going to yeah, okay, so the user is currently in this position, right? Now what I can do is, as he moves along a line, I can literally use this particular API of points within polygon and check, okay, this user is there, so emit a event. If the user is not there, don't emit, like emit a event called exit, okay, in the front end. So that is one way to do, but still that is not that good. Okay, that is not still 100% bulletproof. Okay, the best bulletproof way to do it is with the proper custom backend with Postgres SQL. Okay, Postgres SQL. In the previous videos, I think here, so I would have made a video on, you can see, right, geohashing and then PostGIS, right, this concept. So you can view that video. In that video, what I would have done is, I will just provide a recap where there is a concept called PostGIS, which is a geospatial index in Postgres SQL, where it has something called st contains, like the syntax would differ, but st contains and std within, etc., where you can check, okay, if this particular point is within a set of coordinates or not. Okay, or is within this particular set of coordinates or not. If it is within that, you can say, okay, this is within this, and then you can emit an event. Okay, so I'm going to discuss the number, like the front end way as well as the back end way now. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, you see, so this is the app, right? So now I'm going to go here, and then if you have seen the previous video, you would have understood this, right? Okay, now before that, I'm going to go here, and then okay, I discussed this, right, the API pricing. Now I will discuss all these things, and then I'll jump right into the code, because the thing about all these complex concepts, right? is you have to understand the fundamentals. It's not based upon a single programming language. You can use multiple languages, multiple frameworks, or different databases, etc. But the fundamental concepts remain the same. So if you understand it clearly, you can build anything. Right? You can work around this and build anything. Right now, we'll leave this. That's what we discussed. Now we'll leave this to coding and then program like implementing it. These things, right? So why you need to learn learn all these, right? So the best example is the warehouse one, which I said before. One more is you can also do it with Pokemon Go, right? For example, if you are in a vicinity of a particular user, what happens is, okay, you are the Pokemon is near you. That is the best example. Okay, so actually, I have not paid Pokemon Go that much. I just read about it online, right? Now in Pokemon Go, what happens if you are near a Pokemon, right? What happens? A notification comes up and then you can tap on it, right? And then you can capture that Pokemon, something like that. So that literally is a concept called Geofence. Okay, right. Now that is a circle. Like, for example, it's a circle. So how that works is, so here, okay, here you are. Okay, this circle is not nice. So I'm going to use this. Okay, and then I'm going to tap. Okay, so the Pokemon is somewhere here, and then you are here. Okay, so once you have entered the radius of the Pokemon, right, what happens is a geofencing will trigger, and then if you have come near this Pokemon, right, a notification will be sent to your device and you can capture it. I don't know how exactly this works, but the concepts would be the same, I think. Okay. That is a circular geofence. Next one is a polygon. A polygon is nothing but the things that they have mentioned here. Okay. So, for example, you have a office building that I don't recommend doing this. I don't want it to be made in this way. But, world works in different ways. So, if there is a functionality or requirement for you to make this, you have to do it. Okay. So, for example, in your own office or like you are tasked to make a project where if a student has entered a particular, like, so not a student, let's take an office going person, is like he has to enter the office premises within 10 a.m. every morning. Okay. Either they have a punch card where you can literally punch it and move forward, or else if you want to go even sci-fi rate or even bigger and bigger, what you can do is you can grab their mobiles, location, and then you can use the background geolocation tracking, and then in there, like that particular location will be sent to your server, right? You can check if they are within the polygon of your polygon or your the vertices within your office building. Okay, I don't recommend doing this at all, but this is just an example. I don't know. For at this time, I couldn't get another example, but one more example, what I would say is the Pokemon Go, and another is, let's take event, right? Okay, event would be better. So you are going to an event, and this is the stadium's layout. So as a developer, you are tasked to check. Okay, you like the users have provided are given their explicit consent to track the location. So if you have entered that particular event stadium, like the stadium's location, right? The event like is being held in a stadium. So this is the exact coordinates or the vertex, the edge coordinates, right? So this coordinate is this and this, etc. Right? So now you have a polygon here. So for example, if I go to the emulator, so I already made all these coordinates. So if I go here, you can see this is a coordinate of Apple HQ. Okay, it's not an exact one, but this is how it works. So the user has provided explicit content to track their geolocation data. So that particular values is being transmitted or streamed to your own database. You are checking, okay, if he's here, okay, he's here, and then if he has entered the location or not. And then at 10 a.m., did he enter that particular location? If yes, means you can provide them access, etc. But don't do this for any nefarious or bad purposes. It is not good. But this is just the main disclaimer is I am not promoting any other bad scenario actors here. If this is a requirement for proper like geofencing, like what I would say, like the warehouse tracking, etc., where you can get the coordinates of your warehouses and then you can literally transmit it to your own data. Like you can add the polygon or your warehouses, vertices in your database, and then you can check it. Okay, that would be the best example. Don't do it for wrong purposes. Right, I am not responsible for those things. Okay, so the thing is, like as the user has entered the event, this is the polygon style. The next style would be for a line, right? So line is one more. Where, so for example, so here, right? So let's take this is a normal example. It's not the correct one, right? Or like no correct polyline. So from Apple's HQ, I'm moving to Google's HQ, right? So let's take you have a high value cargo. Cargo means nothing but an item, etc. Where you move from this along these lines. Let's take in the high value cargo, like in the Fast and Furious movies, right? So this is hypothetical, okay? I'm just telling these are the different types of geofences, so that you will understand how to do it properly, not in a bad way. Okay, so let's take in the Fast and Furious, there was a scene in I think Fast 8 or 9, I forgot it, where Dom and his family. Okay, Dom turned bad because his son was kidnapped by Viper. I forgot her name. So kidnapped by her. So Dom had to get the particular equipment from Rock and his family members. Family is everything, right? So family members. So what happened was they would go along this line where multiple cars would fly from what is it like the double decker I think parking slot or some place down, and then some like the rocks or the family members no what I would say like the cars would be attacked by Dom, right? So the thing is, why I'm saying that is, let's take Rock or the no, Fast and Furious members had to go from this point. Okay, if I'm looking see right, this point to this point, and then Dom attacked from here, right? So now they had to move to along this line. Okay, right. So now what happened here is the high value cargo is not moving along the proper line. Okay, that is not acceptable. It has to move along the said line, and even if a single no thing is missed, you can literally get a ping or a notification. Okay, like this is not working properly, or the cargo is going in a wrong direction, right? So immediately send members like police members or like the military members, etc. Okay, so this is a Fast and Furious is a hilarious example, but that's literally the thing that came to mind now, because it's actually that sequence was slightly better. Okay, for me. So when I wanted to go along this line, okay, now I went when my Dom attacked the Rock, right? The cargo went in this side. So that is nothing but a line-based geofence, and then this is very extremely helpful for high value or premium cargo, right? So that's what how you can do that, right? The line one, and the next one is a grid based. It's a very complex one, but you can get government contracts with the help of this, right? So this is nothing but like what I would say like a grid based one. This is used by big governments, like governments to lay out the like what I would say like their localities, streets, etc. This is like a very advanced one. So, but I also provided the code here. You can get the code from the link which I have provided below. Okay, so that's one more. Like these three, I feel or not. I feel these three is the most important geofencing. Like almost 99% cases will be the first three. Okay, right. So the line, as I said, fleet management, delivery route tracking, etc. I said for Fast and Furious. One more is the same way for Zomato or Uber or delivery based apps, right? You can also track the locations. Like they went, let's take from here, they went to somewhere 5 kilometers or 5 miles away. You can track. Okay, you are not within, like let's say from here it's 10, like let's say he went 15-20 kilometers away, right? You can send something is wrong, and then you can send notifications to your support team. Okay, something is wrong with this driver, etc. You can immediately call him to verify. Okay, something went wrong. So these are all the technical or theoretical values that you need to know before jumping it. So it's almost what 30 minutes now. I just discussed about the theoretical concepts. Okay, because as I said, right, the theory, the fundamental concepts matters before jumping in. AI can help you code all this, but you have to understand what is happening. Okay, so in the front end, what I'm going to do, so here, as you can see, I'm going to use this tool. Okay, this tool to mark the location from one place to another place. Right. So for this, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to use set to current location, this one, and then this one. So this is nothing but the Google HQ. So to understand what this tool is, etc. Sorry. What? Actually, I'll go back here and actually, okay. So here, so set to a coordinate, and then I will use this comma, and then okay. Sorry. I will go to here, and then I'll go to features, location, custom location. I will change all these things to, okay, this is wrong. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here and then paste it here. So it will change its values to Google HQ. Okay. So the location of the, the location of the simulator is now at Google's HQ. Okay. So to understand how I did all these things, you can go and see my guide on this right here, which is where I use this particular tool to move forward. So I am currently there. Now the next step. So what is the next step? So I want, so as the user moves, right? So for example, if I go here, get current position, right? So as the user moves, there are two steps. So in the previous video, I used the Supabase to transmit the location of the moving user to the server, right? That is one. So the front end way is to, so I'm going to go here. So here, from here, I'm going to move along this line to Apple's HQ slowly. So I'm going to go here and then I'm going to use simulate from real to be. So set to be, where is this? Actually, it's somewhere in Los Angeles here. Let's go to thing here. Actually, where is this place? Okay, thing San Diego. I don't know. I have never been there, so I don't know how this. Okay, let's assume this. Okay, so from here, okay, so from here to here, okay, I'm going to go set to A. Okay, and then here B. Actually, sorry, this should be 2. Okay, sorry, my mistake. And then I'm going to tap on to delete this, make route. Okay, so the route has been created, but okay, so I'm going to go to San Jose and then, okay, Cupertino, right? So here, okay, here we got the calculation. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use set to A. Okay, so A to, I think, Google's location somewhere here. Okay, let's take, I'm just going to push it here. Okay, right. So now from A to B, I'm going to make a route. Okay, the route has been created. Okay, and then I'm going to simulate the route. Okay, so I'm going to simulate the route from that point to this point. So what is going to happen is, okay, actually I'm going to push this one to here. Okay, let's do this. Okay, that would be more easier. So I'm going to start from here and then the next point would be here. Okay, so from this particular highway, I'm going to reach Apple's location. So as I already have the polygons, so I'm going to go here and put this here. Okay, so the handling of the maps is very bad here, but no problem. So the logic is I already have here, right? I already have the polygon values here, which I already presented here. So if I'm going to go back to the code and then I'm going to explain this, right? So this is the grid polyline code, and then this is for the line coordinates which I drawn from Google's HQ to Apple HQ. The next one is the Apple HQ's polygon coordinates. So I already hard coded it here. Now what I'm going to do is when the user moves, right, this particular thing will be fired. Please view my previous video to understand what this is. So this particular thing will be fired, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Turf.Polygon points within polygon, and then I'm going to use, okay, so I'm going to first thing is let's go back to the here, and then I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste it. So I'm going to convert these particular points to GeoJSON values. Okay, so I'm going to go here, get this polygon coordinates and then put it here. Next one is I'm going to use const is within Geofence polygon, okay, equal to turf dot points within polygon, which is nothing but this. And then let's go back to the dash, this one, and then see. Okay, here. Okay, they're also converting this value. Okay, here let's copy this so that we'll understand more. So I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste it here. So the first step is to convert the Polygon coordinates to the GeoJSON format. That is not done. And then also we are going to we are also going to sorry, I made a mistake here. So these are all the points, literally the points, and this is the polygon. So we shouldn't use it in this way. So this is the polygon line. These are all the the coordinates which are at the vertices, right? Okay, and then we are going to convert this to GeoJSON format. So that we have to present it here. And then the next thing is these are all the what I would say, the coordinates which are presented as points on the maps, right? So I will explain it one more. So the first step is the points. The points is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that 5 points are here. And then this particular code will convert all these points into a GeoJSON format. The next step is this particular code will convert this particular points into a polygon, right? Step number 2 is done. Step number 3 is we are going to check if the points which we have presented here are within this particular polygon values, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these two, and then as the user moves along the point, I'm going to use this here. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to use the longitude value here and the latitude values here. Okay. And then I'm going to check, okay, if these two are within them or not. Okay. And then let's check console.log points within. Okay, this is how you do it in the front end side. Okay. And then one more is how did I make the polygons? So I made the polygons with the help of the prop called Polygon. So for example, in React Native maps, we have multiple sub-child components, which is circle, marker, polygon, and polyline. Circle is nothing but the little circle. So for example, if I do this and if I go here, right? So let's take I go here. So this, you can see the circle is there. So if I go here, you can see the circle color is here. So the stroke color and the fill color. So stroke color is nothing but the edge one, and the fill color is whatever is within that, right? Okay, you can see, right? The fill color has a lower opacity. The same way for polygon, right? The polygon is nothing but multi vertices, sorry, more than 2 vertices. Sorry, I forgot this. Like I learned it in my high school. So, but the thing is, the thing I remember is polygons have more than 2, right? 2 vertices. So a line has 2. So point from here to here, the line has 2, and then triangles from this manner, and then polygons are I think more than 4 or 3 or 4. Okay, so here it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has 5 vertices. What we did was we got those 5 vertices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we literally added it in the polygon here. Sorry, polygon here. Okay. The next one is the polyline. Polyline is used for lines. Okay. The line is nothing but you can see this dark blue line, right? So that is the one. Okay. Now we added it all of the, we got all the coordinates. Like for example, best example is you have your own arrows. You stand around its edges and then get the exact coordinates. You put that in your database or you get it manually and put it here. And then you can draw coordinates or polygons like this on the map, like React Native maps. Okay. The next step, your driver has started from Delhi and he has moved to Mumbai. He's moving to Mumbai or from Apple HQ or to Google HQ. Right. Now, as we are going to simulate that location from A to B in this manner. And then what we are going to do is we are going to check, okay, like is this particular user within the set polygon? If he is there, this is going to give true. And if it's not there, okay, I'm going to go here and use polygon dot. Okay, you can see, right? So this is a GeoJSON type. Right? This is a GeoJSON type. So let's go back to the docs. And here, you can see result equal to turf dot points within polygon. We will get the results back. Okay. Yeah. So that's okay. Let's see. So I'm going to use type. Okay. Let's just see what is right. Now I'm going to use, this is how you have to do this manually by running around the streets or like going from one place to the other for production testing. This is for development testing. So I'm going to simulate the location as you can see, right? So I'm going to go here. You see the location changes. And if I go to console, right? Actually it's not moving. So I'm going to reload it. Okay. So I have reloaded it, and then I think, okay, you can see. Okay, the permissions error again. So I'm just going to go back to I think watch position within the. Okay, so here points. Okay, here I got unable to get this right. I don't understand why it happened. Error get location. Okay. So to do this right, actually it's working, but no, it's not working probably because the permissions are not given. So I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm going to go to apps, follow short, location. I'm just going to use always. Right. Once I do that, let's go back, follow short, and then reload it. Okay. Still okay. I think a bug happened, so that's why it's not working. Okay, let's just console.log the latitude and longitudes and see if it's working or not. Okay, latitude and longitude. So let's reload. Okay, it's working. I think the this one didn't work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check turf. Okay, points. Let's see, turf dot points. It's moving slowly. So reload. Okay, you see, right? So this is working, and then next one is this polygon. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. So this should be in this fashion, right? So I'll go here. Okay. I think I'll use it in this way, and then the polygon coordinates would be in a different manner. Okay, so I'll get it here. Okay, so I'll use it in this way. Okay, I'll just pause the video now. Okay, so this is the correct format. Okay, so I made this format. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass it here. So what mistake I did, I will say, so that you can also like you won't no do the same mistake. Okay. So what I did was, so this format is proper for React Native maps, but Turf.js is a library which wants all the formats in GeoJSON format or in the longitude and latitude in this way. Okay. So if you go to the documentation, right, you can see here you have one. Actually, you should do it multiple times. Okay. So I'm going to go here, and then so actually this should be in this actually. Okay. So here, if you see carefully, so this is longitude and latitude. Okay, it's not in this format. Latitude is 2, longitude is 3. It's not in an array of object format. It's an array within an array format. Okay, so once I have done that, and then if I put it here, so if I go here and test it, okay, so I'm just going to put this here, and then let's test if it worked or not. So I'm going to go here and use what this. Let's check. And then go to here. Let's go back here. Did it go? Okay, so I'm just going to the location simulate. Let's reload the page. Okay, so I think it didn't work. So I'm going to just put this in this page. Okay, so let's reload. Okay, I found the problem. So this thing, you can also use it when you are going to integrate this particular library, right? So the problem is Polygon starts in this point and then ends in this point. So A, B, C, D, E, sorry, A, B, C, D, E, F, and this won't be G, it's A, right? So the error which happened here was, so this is a starting point, right? And then it also has to end in the same lat and long, or else the polygon won't end. Okay, that was the bug which I was confused on why it was happening, and then now I fixed it. Okay, so now let's check. So I'm just going to go here and add simulate from A to B, and then literally use this. You can see it is automatically working. Okay, so now so I'm just going to remove this, and then let's reload the app. So the user is slowly moving or inching. Okay, let's see carefully. So this user is slowly moving from this point to directly to here. Okay, the feature is 0. Which is nothing but like there is no like the user has still not entered here. Now let's see. Okay, once he enters the location, you can see immediately we got something. Okay, now I'm going to do one more. Okay, so if there like the status, the user has entered this particular polygon. Now I'm going to go here and change this from the A will be from here. Sorry, not here. Here. Sorry, I'll change this. The A will be from here, and it will move to here. Okay. Sorry. What is this? Okay, from here to here. Okay, I'm just going to simulate from A to B. It will just okay. So from here you can see is slowly moving or moving towards that polygon, and immediately the feature. Okay, you can see it got triggered. Okay, and then as he moves outside the polygon, let's see if he goes outside the polygon incorrectly. Okay, so here, right, let's go back. Let's see. Now the features will be 0 array. Okay, now how you can do geofencing logic properly here in the front end, and once this is done, I will also explain it in the back end as well as to complete this video. Okay, so in the front end, right, so you can do this. So const, as he says, this is in the back end, but in the front end, I'm just going to say const status comma set status equal to use state of exit rate or outside. Let's take outside. Now, if the points within dot features dot length is greater than or equal to 1, so I'm going to use it in if else. If greater than equal to 1, I'm just going to say set status of active. Okay, if it is not that, I'm just going to change it as what is it, like exit, right, or outside. So I'm going outside. Or I will just keep it as outside. Now I'm just going to do that, and then the next one is we have to also check the previous state. Okay, now what we are going to do is here. So let's take we need to say to the user if he has entered and if he has exited. That's it. Okay, so we have to send an alert message. Now what we are going to do, I'm going to go no, actually I'm going to go here, and then so the okay, so like if the user is within that coordinates, right, the features length will be greater than 1. So we'll change it to active status. We can also do alert of 1, also alert of active, or no active. Let's just take it as inside and then convert and have it here. Okay, but the thing is, as the user moves forward and forward, right, what happens? This particular thing will get fired again and again and again. The multiple alert message will be there. Okay, so I'm just going to use console.log. Here you can send this particular value to the backend as well. Okay, but that's out of like that's not correct. But you can also send this value to the backend, the status value to the backend as well. But as no, the basic backend principle is never trust the client. They can alter it however they want. Always put the business logic in the backend, which we as a developer only will see it. The end users won't be able to see that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, so the console.log will be this only. But if this particular value changes, right, so from the previous one to now, what we are going to do is, so if status not equal to this one, so status is what? Sorry, not status. Okay, immediately. The logic what I want to do here is, if the user enters it, we have to show, but show an alert message. Exits, we have to show an alert message. Other than that, we shouldn't show anything. Okay, so that is the logic I'm thinking now. So how we can do it is the status is equal to, okay, so when the user is outside, it will be 0, and if he enters, it would be 1. Okay, and then if he exits, the value will change from what is it, like 1 to 0. So from this is how you do it, 1 to 0. That is the state that he is also saying. Okay, so out, in, exit, in, out, sorry, out, in, enter, in, out, exit. Okay, no change equal to no win. So in this condition happens, no alert message should be shown. Okay, so if I go here, enter event detect a change. So how would we detect a change in React.js? The thing is, in React, we have something called a reconciliation, right? So that also we need to consider. Okay, so to do that properly in React.js, this is not a React Native or geofencing or any other concept. It's pure JavaScript or front-end concept. Okay, so in React.js, if we like, okay, you change the state here, right? And then if you change the state again, it won't work properly. Okay, it won't get reflected properly because if a state changes, the entire tree, right? React tree, like the concept called tree in React.js, where if you change the state, that entire tree will re-render. Okay, then only the state update will be shown in the front end. So to no to circumvent that, what we can do is set status, or we can use something called previous status. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use if. Okay, so I'm going to do in this way. So return, and then here, so I'm going to use status is to. I'm going to remove this if else completely and then use it in this way. So actually, sorry, not the status is not there is no status here. So return status. If it's greater than 1, it's active. And if it's it's not active, it's inside. This would be outside. Okay. The same way here, if the previous status. Okay. So here, what happens? The state, like we will change it in this manner. Okay, sorry, I'll go here. Okay, so we'll stick with this. So now, as I said, the entire React tree changes, right? So we can't do the alert message properly here in the front end. There's nothing considered with the backend, etc. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here and use effect. And then in the use effect, only if the status value changes, I'm going to send a alert message with that. So status. Okay, let's see. So now, as I said, we can literally go here and we can't do it properly here, because we have to have a trigger where only if the value changes, the status message should come out. Okay, this is an advanced React.js concept, which when I started out, it was very tough for me to understand. But when I understood the internals and the fundamentals of how React.js and the JavaScript ecosystem works, and how closures and how what I would say, there's one more concept called reconciliation, right? All these things work. Simple, fundamental. If I say it in my own fashion, if a state changes, it won't reflect immediately. Why? Because once the entire React tree or the React component re-renders, then only the component that the state change shows. Why? Because that's how the internal frameworks of React.js works, and it's that's how the state gets changed. Okay. Because, for example, if you use set status and I use console.log status here, right? What happens means it won't work properly because the state didn't change, because the use effect hook didn't work properly, like didn't finish fully, right? Yeah, so that's the React.js concept that you have to learn. Okay, I learned it from a website called Developer Way, and then some other websites as well. Okay, now let's do it again. Okay, from here, let's do what is this? Simulator. Okay, let's go here. It moves. You see, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, actually, I have to reload. Sorry. He's inside. See, inside is again and again working. Now, outside is working. And you see, the alert message is not coming again and again. Okay, that's it. That's how you do the geofencing in React.js or React Native with help of the React.js concepts. Okay, but that concludes this particular video. I will provide all these links, etc., so that you can go and use it. Okay, so to recap this video again, we made coordinate, like we used 3 libraries: geolocation, React Native Maps, and Turf, and then we added Polygon here. And when the user moves from our location and inside the Polygon and outside of it, we triggered the changes with help of some advanced or like I won't say it's advanced, but the basic or the fundamental concept of React.js, where once you enter, like once you track all the location changes and then you console.log it, and then only if the event changes, right, the status changes from active or from inside to outside or outside to inside, that particular alert message will come out, because when that change happens right here. Okay, and then one more, actually, I have to say one more here. You can see in this section, right? So okay, one more is the set status message gets called again and again. If you see carefully, the set status message will get called again and again. Outside also it's calling, right? But this particular thing didn't trigger, because the value of outside is outside only. It is not inside or anything, right? As the value of outside didn't explicitly change to any other, the state's value didn't explicitly change to another one, the use effect didn't trigger. That's how React's life cycle works. Okay, that's why understanding the fundamental concept will make you a 10x developer. I don't want to be associated as 10x or anyone. I'll always be a 1x developer who does things properly. Okay, so this is the geofencing concept from top to bottom, and I explained everything on what it is, how it is, and how you can use it, and what is the static geofences, which is these 4 stuff. Okay, so now this is the complete front-end integration. So what I will do is I will provide the source code for you to use it. Okay, so starting point, ending point. Okay, I will from inside to outside to inside and vice versa. Okay, vice versa, and then here starting point should be same as the ending point, because what is like polygons start and end at same time. It's the same place, same place. Okay, right. So that's why it didn't work before, and that's how it worked now. Okay, now we have to see all these other videos to understand what I did here, but and then this one to mark the location. So this is entirely the concepts on like geofencing. The one more I missed to say is this: you can create a line string with the help of turf. Okay, if you have all the required coordinates, and then you can have a line geofence. The same way for the grid geofence, which I have mentioned here. Okay, so if I go here, this is the thing which I have mentioned here. Okay, this is the grid geofence, and you can also use it in this manner. Okay. So that's it for the complete front-end integration. Now we will go with the backend integration, which I will explain for 5 minutes. Okay. So if I go here, right. So I hope you understood each and every fundamental concept of geofencing, the theory behind it, and how you can do it in React Native app with the open source libraries, and then use React.js's fundamental concepts to understand how you can do this particular state change logic, where you can alert the user or you can send it to the backend to update it. Okay, so now the backend configuration. So backend. Okay, so backend concept. So what is this and how you can implement it, right? Now here, as I said, like this particular guide is based upon like it's not in the front end, right? It's in the backend. Now what you can do is you can stream this particular location to your database, and then you can use the concept called PostGIS. Let's say you use a PostgreSQL, and then you can use a geospatial index called PostGIS for geography data points. And then you can use this HT contains to check whether if the user is within the particular set of coordinates, like the circle, or within a set of. So this is HT contains, and then there is one more SD within. So you can use these two to check if the user is within a polygon, a set of coordinates, or within a radius, right? So if you see my guide on this, I would have explained everything here. Okay. And then one more is, as you stream this particular location to your database, right? You can also use batch processing, but if you want real-time data, you can you can use PostgreSQL. I'm not that good in the backend, but this is what I have envisioned. So you stream the location of the changing location of the user to your database, and then you use SD within, and then as he said here, right? You check, okay. If there is any state change, so the previous location is same as this one, don't do anything, or the previous state is changed as this one, don't do anything. If the previous state changes, send FCM notifications or make some updates in your dashboard, etc. Okay, you can use PostgreSQL for caching values. You can use Redis, right? And you can also do batch processing to prevent overloading of your backend database and not to crash it. Okay, so all these things are there. But in the front end, I have explained everything. On main thing is front end React Native side, I have explained everything. On the React.js side, I also explained how to do the status change, right? So for the backend, use Postgres to do it properly for the scale, massive scale. And then from there, you can also use EDA, which is event-driven architecture, to not overload your database by splitting your core services into microservices. So, for example, you this geofencing is a CPU. So geofencing, not like this ST contains is a CPU intensive task, right? And then once some change is being detected, right, you have to send FCM notifications or like which is nothing but mobile notifications, and then SMS, email, or whatever it is. That would be one more service, right? So you can use a concept called microservices. You can decouple everything and put them into a queue, and then you can, like, for example, if a state change happens, put that particular request in a queue, and then after some time, or like immediately, or like no, whatever it is, like it will put that into a queue, and then it will dispatch to the particular API server, which will do that. And then like the main thing here is, even if the end API server is down, the particular queue in the EDA, right, in the queue or the PubSub or the Kafka cluster will not like the data will not be lost. If the API server is down, it will store the data points and then it will retry it. In the concept called exponential backoff time. Okay, in that way, no data gets lost, and then you can you can have you can have a robust system with help of this. So you can also add fault tolerance with help of Kafka or any other EDA driven systems. Okay, so that will take more than 1 hour to discuss, but I have completed everything in the front end side. So this video contains React Native maps. In the next video, I'll explain about React Native Mapbox and how you can do the same there. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you in the next.